Hello and welcome to the Banquet Knowledge channel. Before we begin, please subscribe. Okay, let's get started. Today we're going to show you how to set up a coffee condiment station. It's going to be double-sided. It's going to be 11 easy steps. First, you'll need the following items to set up your station. You need a gray nesting table. This time we're going to be using a large nesting table, clean mats, 2 tea boxes, honey, a riser, a glass platter or plate, 2 cocktail napkin holders and the cocktail napkins, creamers, the tags to indicate what dairy product is in each creamer, and the riser. We'll also need 2 lemon bowls, cocktail forks, a 3-tier sugar. We'll show you what that is. 2 stir sticks with holders, 2 of the holders, 2 trash receptacles, and lids with the holder. So you're going to need to use this large nesting table. Step 1, going to make sure that the table surface is clean, no marks, no stains. Make sure the sides are clean as well. Wipe it if it needs to be wiped. If there's excessive marks or deep marks, please inform your banquet supervisor. Next, step 2, we're going to put the mats. As you can see, there's two types of mats here. This is just because the mats, these large mats have a gap in between, so we're filling that gap with this mat. There's several types of mats that you can use. I just want to make sure the whole surface is covered and protected. You're never going to put a shaver or coffee urn without a mat. If they're soiled or dirty, do not use them. We have a designated area for you to put them, and they'll be cleaned and returned. Step 3. So this is where we're going to start setting the table. Remember, you're setting it. The start of the buffet is going to be the coffee station. This is the condiment station. So once the guests serve their hot water or coffee, they're going to come to the station. So make sure that the tea is first. It's facing outwards so the guests can come and choose a tea. We're putting 2 boxes. That way it elevates the second box, and then you have a backup down here. Remember, when planning your setup, as I said, you want to start with the direction that the guests will enter and when they're going to begin with the first station, which will be the coffee. This is a double-sided buffet, so some of the items, as you will see, will be on each side. We'll place one on each side. Okay, we're moving to step 4. Step 4 is going to be the honey. You will need a riser for the honey to place the honey on top. This is a glass plate, which again, when you're getting all your equipment together, this will be in the storage area. Do not overstack the honey. You can replenish as needed, and be careful when transporting. This can slide off, so if you need to place it down here temporarily, or take it off and then place it once you're all set. Step 5. So now we're going to place the cocktail napkins. Just place enough, don't overstack it. One's going to go on this side, the other one's going to go on the other side. Make sure both sides have it for double-sided. Replenish during the event as needed. Step 6. This is where we're going to get the creamers. So the creamers are usually in the pantries. You're going to fill them with half and half, skim milk, almond milk. We have tags that you stick to each creamer on the handle. You might sometimes have to use some buffet signs for each creamer. if you do have to use buffet signs, we place them all in the same area so that guests don't get confused on which creamer's in which. So the tags help with that. We like to use a riser. This is a small one, but you can use a larger riser if you need to, just to give it some height, so they're not all flat on there. Make it look a little bit nicer. Again, don't overload your station with creamers. The creamers need to be refreshed as per the health department every 4 hours. You can't leave it too long. Even though they're insulated, we do need to refresh them. So don't load them too early, and refresh as needed. And moving on to step 7, just where you're going to set the sugar. We have a 3-tier for the sugar, 3 types: white, brown, and yellow, which is Splenda. Do not overfill. Make sure they look neat, nice, and stacked. Refresh during your break. You might need to use less, you might need to use more depending on the size of the group. This is for a larger group. If they need the pink and the blue and the green sugar, those will be available back at house. So you can get them from the storage room. You can keep some on your cart in the back, so in case somebody asks for that. But these are the only 3 that we will be using today. Moving on to step 8. This is where you're going to set the 2 lemon bowls for the honey and the tea. Lemons are available in the pantries. We have different vessels you can use for the lemons. As long as they're in a smaller bowl, we don't want to overfill it because it will be out for a while. Again, you have to stick with the health department standards. Refresh them as needed. When you do get them from the pantries, make sure the label, you check the label, make sure that they're not expired. Refresh as needed. We're going to put 1 on each side. So 1 here and 1 there. And move on to step 9. This is where you're going to set the stir sticks. Again, do not overfill. Make sure they look a little bit neater than this. This is a little bit messy, but just try to make them look as nice as possible. And again, we're going to refresh during the breaks during your event. So we're going to place 1 on each side. Step 10. This is where you're going to set your waste receptacle. So you should have 2 of them. Again, if you don't have enough, you can use other receptacles. We want it to look neat, want it to match everything. So you can use sometimes a riser like this one, place it upside down. Can be used as a receptacle. And again, keep it clean. Make sure that before you set it out that it's clean inside. And empty it as necessary during the event. Place 1 on each side. And the final step, 11, is where you're going to place the lids for the coffee cups. So making sure that they're neat. Don't overfill them because it's going to be hard for guests to take them out of this container here. Refresh during the break as needed. You're going to place 1 at the end of the table. There's not enough room for 2, so at the end, if you want to turn it, sometimes we could fit 2. It just depends on how much items you have on it, depending on the size of the group. And this is an example of a single-sided setup. Again, you're going to put 1 tea box, the honey's in the back, you got the lemons here, the stir sticks, the cocktail napkins, the sugar. With the sugar, this 3 tiers a little bit too large for a single. I wanted to show you an example of probably what not to do. This is a more appropriate sugar for this size of group. So you refresh it as needed against the 3 types of sugar, the white, the brown, and the Splenda, the yellow. You have creamers, as you can see here, not overloaded, just a few creamers. You have the wastebasket, and then you have the lids. As you can see here, the lids are turned the other way, that way the guests can see it. If you have room to do that, you can do it. If it's not enough room in a double-sided, you just turn it the other way. And this is what the final setup will look. So as you can see, you put the coffee first, you move on to, you place the tea first after the coffee on the condiment station, and then everything's double-sided. That's the final setup. If you want to leave any comments, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm happy to answer any questions. If you want to leave comments, share it if you want to share it with your colleagues. And if information was useful, please like it. Thank you.